Meghan and Harry should do what's best for them. Clearly, they know what's going on in their family life. They know what's going on over there. They consult me about nothing when it comes to that, or anything for that matter. I think they make the decision that's best for them. But I think, it's his dad. I'm glad he's going. Whatever they think is best for them.
Does it seem like they're in a really happy place?
I know they're in a really happy place. I've seen the two of them together, and I know what they have is really true blue. And it's good to see the happiness that they give each other. That's nice.
Gayle, thank you so much.
I never give up on love. I'm a sucker for love.
Aren't we all, right?
In the world of celebrity media, few figures have built a narrative as carefully crafted as Meghan Markle. For years, she and Prince Harry have projected an image of compassion, defiance, and vulnerability. But now something has gone terribly wrong. One of Meghan's most trusted allies in the media, the renowned Gayle King, has allegedly drawn the line. And when this kind of relationship dissolves, it sends shockwaves through not only Hollywood, but royal corridors across the world. It all started with a seemingly simple decision. Gayle King, the face of CBS News, allegedly distanced herself from Meghan Markle. This wasn't just any fallout, this was a rupture in a carefully managed partnership. For Meghan, Gayle was more than just an interviewer. She was the firewall, the buffer, the media shield that protected her from accusations of bias or manipulation. When Gayle spoke, America listened. Her credibility was Meghan's credibility, and that trust was invaluable. But sources close to the situation say that over time, this relationship was slowly suffocated by constant demands for control. What was supposed to be a friendly conversation reportedly turned into a high-stakes performance. Meghan Markle, the public figure, didn't just want an interview. She wanted a scripted show where every question was pre-approved, every answer rehearsed. The topics were carefully curated, leaving no room for spontaneity or honest conversation. Gayle King, a woman who has interviewed presidents, war survivors, and some of the most controversial figures in modern history, reportedly saw the cracks in the facade. This wasn't an interview, it was a performance. She wasn't there to ask tough questions. She wasn't there to challenge Meghan's narrative. She was simply there to validate it. And that, according to sources, was the moment the trust began to erode. You see, in elite media, access works on a fragile balance. The journalist needs to have editorial independence, and the subject must be willing to be honest. But when that balance tips, when a journalist starts feeling like a tool in someone else's game, things fall apart. According to some insiders, Gayle King felt used. Promises were made privately, only to be broken publicly when Meghan's team changed their story. And each time the narrative shifted, Gayle's reputation was put on the line, but the fallout didn't end there. The first signs of the collapse became apparent when Meghan and Harry's much-anticipated interview aired. Instead of the expected warmth, intimacy and partnership, viewers saw a subtle shift. Prince Harry, the man who had once been the centrepiece of the couple's story, slowly faded into the background. He looked almost invisible in his own marriage. As Meghan spoke, Harry sat quietly, often interrupting, his sentences cut short, and his body language speaking volumes. Analysts who watched the interview noted a lack of balance in their dynamic. It was Meghan who took centre stage. It was Meghan who controlled the narrative. And it was Meghan who finished every thought. In media, perception is everything, and viewers, as they analysed the footage, began noticing a disturbing trend. Meghan's dominance in the conversation seemed more like control than partnership. Prince Harry, the former royal who gave up everything for love, suddenly appeared sidelined, almost voiceless. Social media exploded with reactions, and one comment summed it up perfectly. "She looks bored by him." This single sentence spread like wildfire, signalling that something had shifted in the public's perception of the couple. As much as they tried to frame their love story as one of adversity, the optics of this interview painted a different picture. Imbalance. A relationship where one partner seemed to be calling all the shots. And it didn't help that Meghan's grievances felt recycled. Critics didn't see a brave woman revealing her truth. They saw someone going through the motions, delivering the same talking points again and again. For 2 days, the word boring haunted the interview like a shadow. Social media and critics alike began to tune out. And in the attention economy, that's the most dangerous thing that can happen. Viewers aren't just turning off their TV screens, they're losing interest altogether. And when the public disengages, it's impossible to regain their attention. The real crisis for Meghan Markle came when Gayle King, her once rock-solid ally, allegedly pulled away. For years, Gayle's involvement in any project had been a stamp of legitimacy. Her credibility was Meghan's credibility. But when that foundation cracked, the entire media strategy began to unravel. Without Gayle, without that trusted voice validating Meghan's story, the Sussex brand lost its shield. Now, the whispers that had once been dismissed as jealousy or cruelty were no longer so easily ignored. Former associates, former collaborators, all began to speak out about the manipulation, the constant revisions, and the emotionally draining demands that Meghan placed on those around her. And as these whispers spread, the audience began to notice too. The carefully crafted narrative that Meghan and Harry had spent years building suddenly seemed hollow. The public wasn't angry, they were bored. They'd heard it all before. And once that apathy sets in, the damage is done. The Sussex media empire, once built on the foundation of controlled narratives and sympathetic platforms, now risks crumbling under the weight of repetition and disengagement. This isn't just a cancelled interview or a media feud. This is the story of what happens when the pursuit of total control over a narrative goes too far. It's about a woman who tried to script every part of her public life, and in doing so, lost the authenticity that had made her so compelling in the first place. The real scandal here isn't a single interview. It's the slow, steady erosion of credibility that Meghan Markle's media empire has suffered. This wasn't just a simple break or disagreement. It wasn't something that happened quietly. Instead, Meghan and Gayle's relationship collapsed under the weight of constant demands, revisions, and a need to control every narrative. What was supposed to be a casual interview, an opportunity for transparency and honesty, was reportedly transformed into a fully scripted performance. What was meant to be a friendly sit-down turned into a battlefield of approvals. Questions were sent, then rejected, revised, and sent again. Whole topics were marked off-limits areas of Meghan's life, like her father and the royal family, were declared untouchable. It wasn't about a candid conversation anymore, it was about choreography. Every answer had to fit the narrative. Every question had to pass through a filter. For a seasoned journalist like Gayle King, who's interviewed presidents, war survivors, and celebrities in scandal, this was a red flag. Sources claim that, at some point, Gayle realised she wasn't being asked to conduct an honest interview. She was being asked to validate a script. That's where the trust cracked. Journalists, especially the most elite ones, know that access only works when there's honesty on both sides. But when a journalist starts to feel like they're just a prop in a manipulated story, everything falls apart. This wasn't a one-time thing either. According to insiders, it became a pattern. Promises were made privately, only to be broken publicly. Each time the story changed, each time the narrative was adjusted, Gayle's credibility was put on the line. And as one media executive allegedly put it, not misled once, used repeatedly. That's a hard line for any journalist to accept, especially someone like Gayle King, who's built a career on trust and integrity. But it wasn't just the professional relationship that was damaged. The real consequences began to unfold when the interview finally aired. What was supposed to be a powerful moment, an intimate conversation about love, struggle, and defiance, ended up revealing something entirely different. Instead of a united front, viewers saw Prince Harry fading into the background. The man who had given up everything for love seemed invisible in his own marriage. Every time Harry leaned forward to speak, the dynamic shifted. Meghan would cut him off, sentences ended abruptly, and the chemistry between them felt off. Analysts who replayed the footage described a subtle but significant shift. It wasn't just that Meghan was speaking more, it was that she was driving the entire conversation, steering the narrative on her own, and it didn't take long for the public to pick up on it. The comments flooded in. "She looks bored by him." That line spread faster than any press release. And suddenly, the carefully curated image of the Sussexes, this perfect partnership against the world, was shattered. Instead of feeling like two people in love, the dynamic looked unbalanced, with Meghan firmly in control and Harry seemingly sidelined. This subtle shift in their relationship didn't go unnoticed. It wasn't just about what was said, it was about how the energy in the room shifted. The interruptions, the lack of eye contact, the sense of imbalance, viewers noticed all of it. And the more Meghan spoke, the more the audience began to realise they'd heard this story before. It felt rehearsed, it felt scripted, and worst of all, it felt boring. In the media world, nothing is more dangerous than boredom. The attention economy thrives on engagement, on urgency, on drama. But when an audience stops feeling emotionally connected to a story, when they tune out because they feel like they already know the ending, that's when the real damage is done. The fallout wasn't just from one cancelled interview or one uncomfortable moment on camera, it was a deeper problem. The trust that Meghan once had with elite journalists like Gayle King began to erode. And when that happens, the entire media empire built on controlled narratives starts to crumble. Once the media shield is gone, once the protective layer of credibility is removed, everything starts to unravel. So what does this mean for Meghan and Harry? It's unclear, but one thing is certain. When the pursuit of narrative control turns into manipulation, it doesn't just backfire, it collapses.